So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is our Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 46, and in this video we continue with our game which we want to create in 7 days, which has the topic of the Mega Jam 2022, which is as above so below. And we stopped there where I said we need to create a story so that we can avoid a lot of work. And I wrote here indeed a story, but I have not made a spell checking, grammar checking, and all this kind of stuff. Normally I would write this story from a person with a good English, with a good grammar, and so on, but we can do this also online with this online tools, this grammar tools, the spelling tools, but it's a lot of more work. So we should now, I show you right now my story which I wrote. So ignore here the spelling and grammar and all this kind. Just let's concentrate us right now on the story, because the story is important for our game. Why? Because like I said, I want remove as much as work as possible, right? So I don't want to make show all the pre-story, how I come to the point where I am later in my game. And to avoid a lot of work, we just tell a story, and then we have just to find a way how we bind the story in our game. But before that, let's make here an overview. Let me show you the overview again. So we have here the overview. We finished here this block. We are here to this game story. Normally we are here, but this game story we have only discussed shortly about this game story. Now I have extended this short game story, and we need to find a way to bind this game story to our game start. That's why both parts are connected here. And yeah, when I go to this game start, you can see start game. Here was this game setup which we finished. Here I will go later to this main menu widget, but still we are at the point where we connect the game story with the start game. So we have to find a way here, right? So, but before we can find a way, let me read here you the story. So my story is, let me read it fast. My name is Mehmet Kant and I'm 90 years old. After finishing my school life, I tried to fulfill my dream, which is a self-proclaimed detective. I knew it would be not easy, but after 1 year without a detective order, I started to doubt myself. Coincidentally, I heard about this strange case where an old woman from a faraway rural village asked for help to find her daughter who is missing. First, I thought this is an easy task, so why nobody helped her till now? After I researched a little bit and asked the police and other detectives, I get all time the same answer. They said, this rural village named Seven Road is a very poor place and many people can't find jobs there. So they try their luck in bigger cities or in other countries. With other words, it is very common that people are missing in this village. But most time after 1 month or so, they will be registered in bigger cities and the case is closed. Still, this is my opportunity. I knew this will be not a big rewarding case, but it will be my first detective order, and I'm happy whatever I get, right? So I started my journey to this rural village, 7 towns, and met Mrs. Sawyer, who is asking to find her daughter. Unfortunately, I have to realize that Mrs. Sawyer is mentally confused. She claims that her daughter is killed by a secret ritual which took place in this village. She portrays that her daughter wanted to leave this village to find a job in one of the neighbor cities, but a group of cultists sacrificed her to the thing who resides below the fields because she knew about the thing which should be not spoken. And here I have a little bit more text. And now she wants me to find the dead body of her daughter, so the police would investigate this crime. After I talked to Mrs. Sawyer, I agreed to help her, but I thought it is better to ask other people about her daughter, because she is telling stories like in horror movies, and I doubt that this will help me. The problem is, after I asked many other people about her daughter, almost everybody said that she couldn't find a job here, so she probably left the village and went to one of these bigger cities. Too bad that doesn't help me either. So I decided to go back to Mrs. Sawyer and listen to her strange stories with the hope that I get some information or hints that could help me. She told me that I should go to these fields at night, where these cultists executed their ritual. I asked her why at night. She replied that these cultists operate at night, and this is my only chance to see them. After the talk with Mrs. Sawyer, I decided to go to these strange fields, although my hopes are very low to get anything out of it. Still, it is the only hint what I have, so I went there first at daylight, and I found, like expected, nothing. But it was strange that not even any person is living near this field. Only 10 miles away, I met a man with a dog who said I should avoid these fields because they are cursed. All right. Till now, I thought only Mrs. Sawyer was a little bit mental confused because she lost her daughter, but after listening to this man, I start to think that here is something wrong. So my next move is to come to the strange fields at night and see what I can find. So this is the story, so you should ignore this grammar and spelling. I will correct them with programs or with another English person, who knows. And our job is now to connect this. So you can see my last sentence was, let me open this one up again. Here, this is my last, oops, not this. Again, this here is my last sentence. So my next move is to come to the strange fields at night and see what I can find. And this here, from this point, I jumping to this place here. Let me start this. You can see I have removed here the lights of this map. That was this demo map with this windmill. I have just kicked out all lights. We have nothing now. I have just put here this point light, and you can see this gives us a nice feeling, a nice horror feeling. And for test purposes, I have put in, just for testing this lighter to see how this goes. And of course, we need to connect to make a level design a little bit and more, but this is the right feeling, right? So I'm connecting, I have now to connect the story here with this start here anyhow, with a text or with talking. I don't know how. I still have to think about this after I finish this text spelling and grammar, all this kind, but I give you now the feeling what I have to do. So we are here, and our job is now to investigate this night area, and we will probably use just this lighter so that we are not making any let's say too much light. So we are assuming there are strange persons like cultists who doing some strange sacrifices here. And yeah, we try to find hints. So, and now you can see when I walk in this night, let's press F11 so that we get the right feeling. Yeah. And when I'm walking here, you can see, or let's say so, this darkness here gives a nice, strange horror feeling, right? So, because most people are afraid of the dark, and we have now introduced that these fields are anyhow cursed, and we introduced here are strange people, and we introduced here are 10 miles away no person, so we normally expect that here is nobody. And now we will implement this strange ritual. Actually, we will not implement this ritual. What we will do next is, or let's say what I will do next is that when you try to investigate this area, you will find probably some hints, strange, let's say strange candles, which you can light or something like that. And then we will implement also strange voices or a strange voice, because like I said, here because the topic is still the theme of this Mega Jam is as above so below, and I have to implement this theme as well. And I said my implementation is the movement of my player here, and I will now make another movement, which is our strange thing which is below the earth and will try to kill us, right? And yeah, this strange thing will make sounds, and we have to find and figure out that when we move, that the strange thing will move towards our steps, and we have now to find to trick it and not to die. And that is more or less my game plan. I don't know if this is cool, but yeah, we will see it later. And I think, of course, we will make here some riddles as well, perhaps very small riddles. For example, at start, you should try to find a lighter. Perhaps you should try to walk, not, let's say, perhaps you should also use a pistol, because who knows, right? Going out in the dark, no person 10 miles away here. It should be more safe to go out with a pistol in the jacket, right? And something like that. So we can make this kind of stuff up in gameplay implementation later. But I hope you have now an idea how I want to make this game. You are researching, then this strange sound comes. Perhaps we put a moon on top with a strange. Perhaps we add a little bit more detail. For example, we should follow a strange list of things to do. I don't know. But this is for later purposes. Important is now this text here, what I have, what I created. We have to decide now if we want this text after the main menu, because let's go to the overview here again. Here's our overview, right? Here's the game story. Here's our start game. And start game, let's go here to the start game. I will start my game with a main menu widget, which means just that the player can start the game. But after we started the game, so Then I have to decide, like I said before, if I want to use here a text or a voice recording. And I tend to use a voice recording and a text perhaps at the same time, who knows. But more a voice recording, and the reason for that is I can, when I walk now here around, let's say I'm walking again here around. Let's start this for a moment again. Let's pick up the lighter. Where are the lighter? Here. Then I can make interactions or hints with voices. For example, I walk here, and if you are walking here without a lighter, I could check if you have the lighter on and give you a hint. Perhaps I should use the lighter, something like a voice hint, and then you can try to activate the lighter here. And if you have not a lighter, then you go and search a lighter, right? Or something like that. And then if you are using the lighter, then you can go and try to find other things here in this dark and hope that you are not dying while you are doing this. You get the idea, right? You can choose now voice, and voice is normally good because I can talk to myself, my thoughts, what I think, what I do next here. Okay, you can say here, for example, okay, I found a lighter, I can go out. Now I try to find hints, the strange rituals or persons and anything like that. And then, of course, we could add here more parts of this blueprint, what we have from the horror engine. We can go here to this part horror engine. And then we can go here to the blueprints. For example, we have here this pistol, right? Pistol, like I said, at night alone. When we have a pistol, we feel much safer, right? Let's put this pistol for fun test purposes here as well. Here, I put a pistol here on the bottom and start for test here purposes. Now I can pick up, for example, to be safe, let's pick up a pistol, but not so, but this here is just for test purposes. And then we'll walk out, and let's see if I can activate. You can see I can even use the pistol in certain cases, but at first you're using just a lighter. Later, if you get afraid after you hear the strange voices, perhaps you take the pistol and hope that this pistol will help you. I don't know. Something like that, right? So the gameplay we will talk later, but important is now I wanted to only show you what direction we go. And important is now, like I said, to integrate this story here. Let's say more. We are interested now, like I said before, we will go to this point where we will create first this main menu widget, and after this main menu widget, we have to integrate the story actually. Anyhow, because the main menu widget is the place where the players say, okay, start game, and then when we start the game, the story must be faded in anyhow. Like I said, a text or a voice recording. This is the part which we do in the next video. But so far is planned. Until then, I will use now a spell checker, online grammar, and all this kind of stuff. And if this is not working, I will try to ask a person who has a very good English with a good grammar and so on, and can rewrite all that what I wrote here down in a better English. All right, with that said, I stop this video here. That was not that much, but still much work to write this now in correct English and bind it in the next video in our gameplay. Alright, with that said, if you have any questions or any complaints, like all time, write it in the comments. And we see us in the next video, where we will start with our widget and perhaps also think how we integrate this after we created our start widget. Alright, bye, good luck. have fun, and like all time, never give up.